You come here where you're not wanted. You eat our food, you pollute our city with your stink, and you refuse to help the Stormcloaks.
But we haven't taken a side because it's not our fight.
Hey, maybe the reason these Greyskins don't help in the war is because they're Imperial spies.
Imperial spies? You can't be serious.
Maybe we'll pay you a visit tonight, little spy. We got ways of finding out what you really are.
Oh. Do you hate the Dark Elves? Are you here to bully us and tell us to leave? You've come to the wrong city, then. Windhelm's a haven of prejudice and narrow thinking, unworthy of one such as you. Nothing new there. Most of the Nords living in Windhelm don't care much for us, but Rolf is the worst by far. He likes to get drunk and walk around the Grey Quarter yelling insults at us in the small hours of the morning. Oh, a real charmer, that one. Some of these Nords will come up with any excuse to despise us. And it isn't just the Dark Elves they hate. They make a target of the Argonians as well. In fact, just about anyone who isn't a Nord is fair game for their bullying. Safe travels.
If you're looking for passage to Solstheim, too bad. I'm not going back there anymore. It's hard to explain. I remember those people with the masks coming on board. Then, the next thing I remember, I was here, and they were gone. And that's not right, losing whole days like that. There's been something strange going on there for a while. But after this, I'm done. I'm not going back to Solstheim. Have you been listening to me? I'm not going back there. All right. You have a point. Taking you back to find out who sent them is the least I can do. Besides, maybe you can put a stop to whatever's going on over there. I owe them a bit of payback myself. Well, here we are. This is Raven Rock. Can't say I'm all that glad to see it again. Good luck. Maybe you can figure out what's going on around here.
I don't recognize you. So I'll assume this is your first visit to Raven Rock, Outlander. State your intentions. Miraak, I'm not sure that I do. Just remember, Raven Rock is sovereign territory of House Redux. This is Morrowind, not Skyrim. While you're here, you will be expected to abide by our laws. Any questions? I have to be. As second counselor, the security of Raven Rock is my primary concern. This isn't exactly the city of Blacklight. We're on the frontier out here, and and we've had more than a fair share of troubles. After all we've been through together, I refuse to let Councillor Morvain down. Councillor Morvain is House Redoran's representative on Solstheim. As second councillor, it's my job to support him and make certain his rule is enforced. Raven Rock started out as an imperial settlement, but the Empire decided to abandon it just as my people were first setting foot here. They left the town a shambles, but when House Redoran took over, we turned it around and it became ours. And even if it's been a struggle to make this island livable, we're proud to call it home. Your ignorance of our homeland doesn't surprise me. It's the capital of Morrowind. Been that way ever since Mournhold was sacked by the Argonians. I don't visit there often anymore, but we still get the occasional supply ship and visitors from there. Quite a while ago, yes. They cut a bloody swath across most of the southern region of Morrowind. Nobody seems certain why it happened. An attempted expansion, revenge for the enslavement of their people, or perhaps both. Whatever the case may be, thousands of Dunmen needlessly lost their lives, and many more were exiled from their homeland. I'm unsure. I swear I know the name, but I cannot place it. I don't think so. I'm not... The name has something to do with the Earthstone, I think, but I'm not sure what. Giolan. I was starting to wonder what happened to you.
We were delayed by bad weather. Before you even ask, yes, I have the supplies you requested. But
what?
the snow cost me double what we'd agreed on. Nothing I can do about it.
Damn it, Jolland, you know we don't have that much coin.
Look, the East Empire Company didn't give me a choice. They've raised their prices again, and there's nothing I can do about it.
After all these years, they're gouging us for every last drake we have. Let me talk to Laeral. I'll see what we can do.
All right, Admiral. Don't worry about rushing it. Just pay me when you can.
You can go where you please, but I'd say stay inside the bulwark if I were you.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out. Our hero claims a warrior's heart. I tell you, the Dragonborn comes. With all force-wielding power of the ancient Nord art. Believe, the Dragonborn comes. It's an end to the evil of all Skyrim's foes. Beware, the Dragonborn comes. For the darkness has passed, and the legend...
Welcome to the Retching Netch Corner Club, home of the finest Sioux jammer that will ever grace your lips. There's actually a funny story behind the name, friend. A few years ago, I was walking down by the docks, and I noticed a Dunmer staggering along with a bottle of Sujamma in hand. He was one of my patrons and liked to drink heavily, so I wasn't exactly surprised. But you see, this particular Dunmer was as naked as the day he was born and singing badly at the top of his lungs. As I'm watching this spectacle, a netch floats over the bulwark towards him. The man looks straight up at the netch, yells, "Have a drink!" and tosses the bottle. And it never hit the ground. Well, the bottle broke on the netch, and it must have swallowed its contents because it started floating sort of tilted. Finally, it stopped and began to quiver. A few moments later, the foulest liquid to ever assail your nostrils spewed from its maw. I've seen plenty of drunks in me day, and I'll tell you right now, that netch was sick. True story, friend. True story.
We'll drive out the storm cloaks and restore what we own. With our blood and our steel, we will take back our home.
I heard crazy old Cressius has been sneaking in the Raven Rock mine again. At his age, he's going to get himself killed in there.
Of your death, we will drink and we'll sing. We're the children of Skyrim and we fight all.
The finest Sujamma to cross your lips, friend. My own personal formula that I call Sadri's Sujamma. In fact, I've just added some new ingredients to the mixture that I think makes it taste better than ever. All I need to do is get the word out that it's ready, and they'll flock here for it. I was kinda hoping you'd say that. Here, take these samples of the Sujamma and spread the word. If you get rid of all of them, there's something extra in it for you. Sure thing. It's yours for a day. I'll show you to your room. Right this way. Let me know if there's anything else you need.
This is an ode to Skyrim's staunch protectors, the Imperials.
You haven't seen Cressius Corellius, have you? That foolish old man's taken my pickaxe again. No, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill pickaxe. I'm talking about an ancient Nordic pickaxe. They don't exactly grow on trees, you know. It's the only tool tough enough to crack Stalrim, is what it is. Not many of those beauties left in the world. Forging them is a lost art. The one Cressius borrowed came from the Skull village up north. I, traded them some goods for it. Calling Stalrim an ore is like calling my forge a campfire. Some folks say it's enchanted ice, but I think there's more to it than that. I don't think I've come across more than a chunk or two in my lifetime, and smithing's my trade. If you're looking to learn more, you should head over to the Skull village. Someone there's bound to know more about it than I do. fine question, and the one that I hear most often from visitors to our town. I wish I had a more romantic tale to tell, but I was simply seeking my fortune and chose Raven Rock to ply my trade. Besides, knowing how to repair bone mold armor wasn't very useful in Riften. I had a friend over there, a dark elf named Van Ryth, a very talented armorsmith. Spent a lot of time with the guy swapping smithing techniques. Learned a heck of a lot, including how to repair bone mold. After he moved on to greener pastures, I decided to pack up, move out here, and put those lessons to the test. Been here ever since. No, wait. Maybe. I don't know how I know that name. I'm not sure. I don't want to talk about this. Perfect. I was just thinking about heading over for a drink. Thanks for saving me the trip. Blades, helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs. Excellent. I think you'll be glad that you made this decision. Thank you. I'll be sure to put it to good use. Stop back anytime.
Here in his shrine.
That they have forgotten. Here do we toil, that we might remember. By night we recline. What by
You
day
there.
was
You don't seem to be in quite the same state as the others here. Very interesting. May I ask what it is you're doing here?
grows ever near to us.
Miraak. It sounds familiar, and yet I can't quite place... Oh, wait, I recall. But that makes very little sense. Miraak's been dead for thousands of years.
Through him do we see.
I'm not sure, but it is fascinating, isn't it? Perhaps it has some relation to what's
Now
going on
through
here.
them
Quite
does he
unexpected. I'm afraid I can't give you any answers, but there are ruins of an ancient temple of Miraak's toward the center of the island. If I were you,
When the
I'd
world
look
shall
there.
see. And when the world
Building something, clearly. And yet they don't seem to have much to say about it.
cease.
I'm very interested to find out what happens when they finish. Certainly not. Doing so would interfere with whatever is going on, and I would be unable to see how this all turns out.
Here do we toil, that we might remember. And when the world shall listen, here do we toil.
Here you reclaim what faithless minds have stolen. Now, through me, do you see? Now, through them, do I speak. And when the world shall see, that world will cease to be. Here do you toil,
That we might remember.
I'll scatter your ashes to the wind. There was no other way it could end. Thanks. I wasn't sure I'd make it off this farm alive. I wish I could have said the same for my man here. Some of the Redux Guard have taken to calling them Ashspawn. Me, I don't care what they're called. All I know is they're a danger to Raven Rock and they need to be stopped. I was going to search for clues that might lead me to wherever they're coming from. I know it isn't the best place to start, but we know they've been coming from this direction. Good. I can use all the help I can get. Besides, I don't feel comfortable leaving Raven Rock behind. And I'd hate to lose any more Redux Guard. We were searching the farm when the Ashspawn ambushed us. Have a look around and see if you can turn up anything useful. No one knows, really. Superstitious folks say they're the risen forms of those that died long ago. But I'm not so certain. They started attacking the bulwark a few weeks ago. My men were able to kill them, but they keep coming back. We've had 2 other assaults on the bulwark, at different spots on the wall. I know it sounds crazy, but it's almost like they're becoming more organized and probing it for weaknesses. Exactly. Something has to be directing them against us, and we need to find out who or what it is. I don't. All I know is that the Ashspawn are coming from this direction, so this is as good a place to start as anywhere else. Good thing the farm's been abandoned for a long time. I'd hate to see what they would do to an unarmed farmer and his family. Not sure. I was told it was an old Imperial farm that was wiped out by the eruption of the Red Mountain. Not certain who lived there. It was already a pile of rubble when I arrived in Raven Rock. I might know someone, or maybe not. I can't remember. I can't. I just can't be sure. I think maybe he had something to do with a temple. A temple here on the island. Does that help? Report back to me if you discover anything unusual. Have you found something? This is strange. The note says it's from General Falx Carius, but that's impossible. Well, Carius was the Imperial garrison commander at Fort Frostmoth, but he died over 200 years ago when the Red Mountain leveled the place. There's no way he could still be alive. If General Carius is still alive, there must be something keeping him that way. I need you to head out to Fort Frostmoth and check it out. I'm going to head back to Raven Rock and prepare the men for further assaults. Be careful. This General Carius sounds out of his mind.
That they have forgotten. Here do we toil.
That we might remember.
Our eyes once were blinded. Now through him do we see. Our hands once were idle.